One of the best days on the NRL calendar is Magic Round. Now, we're going to get the NRL draw in the next few weeks. You've seen my round one preview prediction of what games I think we'll see for the NRL in round one. Obviously, the inclusion of the Dolphins this year means that a team gets the bye for Magic Round. I'm going to be speaking about my Magic Round prediction. There's some games I want, there's some games that don't seem so great, but this is going to be Magic Round 2024. I would love to be at Magic Round in 2024. I wasn't able to get there this year. I did go in 2019 as well as 21 and 22, and I'm really looking forward to the event. Got some money aside, hopefully, to go to Magic Round and return to Suncorp. But starting off on the Friday night, I'm going to have the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Sydney Roosters. You know, the Roosters have a really nice team, and then, you know, the Titans, they've got their new coach coming in, Des Hasler. We've seen some promising signs from the Titans, and it seemed to give a lot of Queensland teams be the home team for Magic Round. I think they were the home team against the Eels last year as well, but Titans taking on the Roosters. We saw a great final series between them a few years ago, so we could be in for a cracker opening game at Magic Round there. Game number 2, which will be Friday, 8 p.m. I'm actually going to have the Brisbane Broncos hosting the Penrith Panthers in a grand final rematch. I think this will be a fantastic a sellout crowd. I think everyone will be really excited for these games. They're the benchmark of the year, and they deserve to be in a Magic Round game like this. It's going to be probably the game of the round, massive game. The Broncos seem to, play well or always get Friday night game. I'm sick of this Broncos Manly stuff. We've gotten it for years. It's all one-sided either way. One team puts 50 on the other. It's boring. Let's see something else. Let's see a grand final rematch between the Brisbane Broncos and the Penrith Panthers. You know, some great names of Kurt Capewell, players like that going against their old club. So, yeah, some absolute workhorse of the game going at it on the Friday night at 8 p.m. is how I would do it. Now, going on to the Saturday 3 o'clock game, not the greatest game of football, but I think it's two teams that are fairly evenly matched going into the season. You know, they've lost Jack Whiten, lost a few other players as well, but the Canberra Raiders being the away team against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I think the Dragons go as the home team for Magic Round. I'm pretty sure the Dragons have had more away games than home game at Magic Round. They obviously lost that game last year in Golden Point, and I can't remember the result this year. I think they lost to the West Tigers, and I think they were the home team in that game too, but the St. George Illawarra Dragons taking on the Canberra Raiders. We often see a good game between these two. I remember a couple in recent years, but yeah, I think it would be fairly close. Wouldn't be, a one-sided game, and it opens up the Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Next up, Saturday, 5:30, another two teams that I guess they're fairly evenly matched, even though I think there's a couple losses for one of those teams going into the season. I'd have the Newcastle Knights hosting the Cowboys. Now, I know you could say the Cowboys host it, but I think because the Knights missed out on Magic Round this season just gone, that it would be nice to give them a home game going into Magic Round for 2024. And, Kalen Ponga, it's been a long time, but going up against his old club, we always say it. They had a very cracking contest this season, one of my favourite games of the year. So, again, evenly matched. Some great fullbacks, Scott Drinkwater and Kalen Ponga. Some really good players amongst both sides. So, 5:30, warming us up for what I call the main event. And Newcastle Knights take on the Cowboys. For the main event of Magic Round Saturday, obviously I have the Broncos and Panthers being on the Friday. That could easily be the Saturday night game. I think the Broncos just seem to get Friday night game. I would actually have the Melbourne Storm taking on the Bulldogs. I would give the Storm the home team for this one. I think, the Melbourne Storm up against the Bulldogs would be a really, really enjoyable game. Josh Adokar, one of the biggest names in the NRL against his former club at this kind of sold-out venue. This new-look Bulldogs team with Stephen Crichton, Bronson Cherry, Takiaho, Salmon. There's some really big name, and they gave it to the Storm this season, and they have given it to the Storm in recent, not more so in recent years, but previously the Bulldogs had a good record against the Storm. So this could be a really good game of football, and this would be my Saturday night main dish on Magic Round. Now, moving into the Sunday game, I would have the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the West Tigers. Now, you got Latrell Mitchell, you got Dane Laurie, you got some really nice names amongst both sides. Definitely not evenly matched. I'd say the Rabbitohs would probably most likely win this game, but the Tigers, Benji Marshall taking over as head coach and playing in a grand final, his final game of NRL with the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So if the NRL's watching, Rabbits Tigers is a big game this year. Really looking forward to these two teams meeting purely because of those type of factors. And, some former players as well. Adam Dewey is a former Rabbitoh, so give me the Rabbitohs taking on the Tigers on Sunday at 2 p.m. Now for the 4 o'clock game, I would have my Parramatta Eels taking on the Dolphins. Now, the Eels and the Dolphins was at Sunshine Coast Stadium, and it was a terrible way to have the event. Parramatta are such a well-followed club, especially up there in Queensland. You've got to put them at Suncorp if they're going to meet. I'd give the Eels the home game here, but I can understand why you would give it to the Dolphins. Can't remember if they were the home team at Magic Round. I remember it was Wayne Bennett's milestone game and they ended up beating the Cronulla Sharks. But, the Eels and the Dolphins played an exciting, high-scoring game this year. That was the first time they've met. This could be the second time that these clubs meet, and with a big crowd, Eels and Dolphins fans all over the stadium. This could be a really great contest, and I'd have it on the Sunday at 4 o'clock. Even though I would like to see us move to maybe even a Friday night would actually be nice for Parramatta, but I think from what the NRL has done in previous years, Parramatta will most likely play on Sunday. And that means my final game of Magic Round. So it's down to 3 teams, the Sharks, the Warriors, and the Sea Eagles. One of these teams is going to miss Magic Round, and the team I have missing Magic Round is the Manly Sea Eagle. Now, the Sea Eagle have just played the Broncos for years and years and hosted them as well, and I am absolutely sick of it. I'm so sick of this Manly Broncos every year at Magic Round. It is time to mix it up. It was also when we had double headers, a common double-header game, the Broncos and Sea Eagles at Suncorp. So I'm really sick of it. Manly Sea Eagles need the bye from Magic Round, or they need a new opponent at least. And because I don't think the NRL will give them a new opponent, I'm giving them the bye. So this means that Sunday, 6 p.m, a game that we saw this year, an incredible comeback from the New Zealand Warriors at Shark Park. But this game would be at Suncorp, a neutral venue for both of these teams. It is the Sharks and the Warriors. So, you got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck coming back in for the Warriors. You got Nico Hines, lots of great players across both of these teams, and they were good teams. One was a fantastic team, the other was a good team throughout this season, so it'd be great to see them, face off again in a big crowd. So that concludes my Magic Round predictions. Would you have some of these games for your Magic Round? Let me know your Magic Round in the comments below. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Plenty of NBA, NFL, and NRL off-season content coming out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later.